Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Kennedy. Kennedy is the anglicized form of an ancient Irish personal name Cinnéidigh from the Old Gaelic elements Cin meaning head and Idai meaning either ugly or helmeted. As such, the personal name most likely finds its origin in a frisky nickname for a man with a misshapen head. We know it's not the most pleasant of etymologies, so don't kill the messenger. Given the 21st century trendiness of Kennedy as a baby girl's name, we were quite surprised to discover its actual etymological roots. In any case, we find it rather amusing in a charming sort of way. The name was most famously borne by Cennétig Mac Lorcáin, a 10th century Irish king in a subkingdom of Munster and the father of Brian Boru, an iconic Irish historical figure often regarded as the last High King of Ireland. Brian Boru greatly expanded his power throughout Ireland thanks in part to the foundation laid by his helmet-headed father and older brother. Brian is credited with restoring Ireland's greatness by orchestrating the unification of the Irish kingdoms against the Viking invaders and pesky Norse settlers. Brian's nephew, Cinnéide, was named after his grandfather and became the founding father of the Kennedy clan, from whom the American Kennedys are ultimately descended. Obviously, the Kennedy name remains quite common in Ireland, particularly in the region of North Munster, counties Clare and Limerick. As a forename, Kennedy was first coined in America in 1960 as a masculine, personal name in honor of the 35th U.S. President, John F. Kennedy, 1917 to 1963. Personality of the girl named Kennedy. Romance is the hallmark of the Six personality. They exude nurturing, loving, and caring energy. Sixes are in love with the idea of love in its idealized form, and with their magnetic personalities, they easily draw people toward them. Like the number 2 personality, they seek balance and harmony in their life and the world at large. They are conscientious and service-oriented, and a champion for the underdog. These personalities naturally attract money and are usually surrounded by lovely material objects, but their human relationships are always primary. They thrive in giving back to others rather than being motivated by their own desires. This is when they achieve great things. Sixes are natural teachers, ministers, and counselors. Popularity of the girl named Kennedy. The name Kennedy started out as a boy's name in 1960, the year JFK was elected into the office of the presidency. Clearly, the name's sudden usage was in homage to this greatly admired man, but by 1969, the name fell off America's top 1,000 list. Then, abruptly in 1994, American parents decided to resurrect Kennedy for their daughters. It just so happened Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis passed away in May of 1994. Coincidence? Probably not. From this point on, Kennedy overtook her male counterpart and is now primarily considered a female name in the United States. In less than 20 years, Kennedy reached top 100 status, 2011, a remarkable achievement in such a short period of time. The name came back on the charts for boys, also in 1994, but didn't stick around, falling off entirely by 2006. It's become overly feminized through popular usage. Now parents aren't interested in this name for their boys. Not surprisingly, as we often see with trendy names, modified spellings began to emerge, like Kennedy, Kennedy, and Kenadee. Right now, Kennedy is the most popular of all the female Ken names, example, Kendall, Kenzie, Kendra, Kenley, Kenya, and Kenna. Ironically, a lot of the female Ken names were inspired by Kenneth, from the Scottish Gaelic coinage meaning handsome, the opposite of Kennedy. Come on. It's funny. Right? Quick facts on Kennedy. Gender, girl. Origin, Celtic. Number of syllables, 3. Ranking popularity, 64. Pronunciation, K-E-N-D. Simple meaning, helmet head, ugly head. Characteristics of Kennedy. Affectionate, sensitive, loving, community-minded, humanitarian, family-oriented, compassionate. Cultural references to the baby name, Kennedy. Famous people named Kennedy. Kennedy, aka Lisa Kennedy Montgomery, former MTV video jockey. Historic figures with the name Kennedy. Needs no introduction, no explanation, no biography, no commentary. She simply is. Born July 28, 1929, she died on May 19, 1994, and lived an amazing life in those 64 years. Born to privileged wealth with old-world credentials, she was both a debutante and a working girl of the 50s. She married into more wealth and brought a needed polish and class to the Kennedy clan. As First Lady, she reintroduced a style and grace to the White House that had been sadly lacking, and she restored the manse to its historical splendor as a symbol of pride for all Americans. She and President Kennedy symbolized youth and energy, and with their adorable children, became our very own royal family in the most democratic of ways. Kennedy held a grieving nation together during the dark days of the assassination and its aftermath, through the example of her own quiet dignity. She had practically achieved sainthood. Then she went and married a little old Greek billionaire oil tycoon with shadowy credentials, and a shocked populace sighed what? An international jet-set lifestyle followed, during which time it seemed she spent whatever spare time she had from the yachts and private planes into Fanny s. Nonetheless, we still hung on her every whispery word and clamored for more and more pictures and stories offered up by a willing paparazzi. This avid attention continued into her later years, when she settled down in New York with her companion and concentrated on her publishing career, civic causes, and her family. Probably the most famous woman of the last century, she was one of a kind, iconic, intelligent, elegant, and yet aloof enough to remain a mystery in the glare of the spotlight. By our feminist standards today, she may have seemed a little too much in the stand by your man mold, but there is no doubt that she made her own indelible mark on the world.